So, I've got to tell you about this weird experience I had a few months ago. It all started with this random message I got on Reddit. Now, I usually don't talk to people outside of my usual subreddits, but this one was different. The message came from a user named Watcher of the Shadows. Creepy, right? Anyway, the message just said, "Hey, I know what you did." It caught me off guard, you know? It wasn't threatening. It wasn't hostile, just unsettling. I brushed it off, assuming it was some kind of spam or prank. But then, the next day, the user sent another message. This time, it was a bit more personal. "I saw you leave your apartment at 10:23 p.m. last night." Now, I don't know about you, but that kind of thing freaks me out. I mean, I wasn't exactly hiding anything, but I live alone, and the idea of someone watching me felt like a punch to the gut. I tried to shake it off, but then they started sending more messages. Things like, "You've got a small scar on your left hand from that time you fell off your bike as a kid. I see you keep your keys in the second drawer next to the sink." I didn't know how they knew this stuff. The scar thing, especially, freaked me out. I don't even remember telling anyone about it, let alone some random Reddit user. I started getting paranoid. Was it someone I knew? A stalker? A hacker? I tried to ignore it, hoping it would just stop. But then things escalated. One day I woke up to a message that was different from the others. This one had no subject, no greeting, just this: "I know where you live, and I'm coming." That was it. No more messages after that. I spent the whole day checking the locks on my doors, looking out the windows, and even checking behind the shower curtain. I was a mess, but nothing happened. I didn't hear anything, nothing unusual. I was relieved, for a while. Then came the night that I'll never forget. I got home late from work. It was around 11:30 p.m. As soon as I opened the door, I noticed something weird. My second drawer, the one where I kept my keys, was slightly open. I thought maybe I left it open myself, but then I saw something I didn't recognize. There was a small piece of paper, folded neatly, tucked into the corner of the drawer. I unfolded it and it read, "You didn't lock your front door." My heart dropped. I was positive I had locked it when I left. I checked the door immediately, and yes, it was unlocked. I still don't know how it happened. After that, I started getting even more messages. They weren't about my past anymore. They were about my present, my routines, my daily habits. Things I didn't think anyone could possibly know unless they were watching me. One message said, "You always take the same route to work. You turn left at the first stop sign, then right at the old bakery on Oak Street." Another, "You've got a gray hoodie with the logo on the back. You wear it every Sunday to do laundry, right?" I felt like I was losing my mind. I changed my routine, took different routes, locked everything up tighter than Fort Knox. But the messages didn't stop. They started getting worse, more detailed, more invasive. I remember one message that made me physically sick. It simply said, "I'm in your living room." I didn't know what to do. I was terrified. But part of me didn't want to call the police because I didn't have any proof. No one would believe this crazy story. I was just one person with an online stalker, and I couldn't even prove it. The worst part came a few days later when I came home from work and saw that my front door had been cracked open. Not wide open, just a little bit. Enough to make my stomach turn. I stepped inside, heart pounding in my chest. And that's when I saw something that almost made me faint. On my living room coffee table, there was a small, old-fashioned key. It looked out of place, like something you'd find in an antique store. The message that followed was simple: "I'll be back." I never heard from the user again after that day. But I moved out a week later, found a new place in a different town, and changed all my online info. Even now, I can't shake the feeling that someone out there knows exactly where I am. I'll never understand how they got into my apartment, or how they knew so much about me. But I'll tell you this. If you ever get a message from someone called Watcher of the Shadows, don't ignore it. You never know who or what might be watching.